Today we are going to preview the Cotton Bowl between number 2 Clemson and number 3 Notre Dame, and all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today we are going to preview number 2 Clemson versus number 3 Notre Dame in a playoff semifinal for a shot at the national championship. And this is the game for which a lot of folks believe Notre Dame is the softest of the 4 in the playoff, despite what many people believe about Oklahoma and its defense. And Clemson is one of those teams that just looked like it was on a collision course for Alabama in the national championship. I think most people would expect to have seen Alabama versus Clemson for the national title. And they wouldn't be wrong in that because this Clemson team is built like Alabama teams of old. And what I mean by that is it's the defense that is so staggeringly good that it's really hard to bet against them if they're even competent on offense. And with the guy they got at quarterback now, making the move to a true freshman in Trevor Lawrence, they seem like that kind of team. Now, Trevor Lawrence completes 66% of his passes, but anybody who's watched that guy play football knows that Sunshine can drop dimes. That's what Sunshine does best, and that's one of the things that Kelly Bryant didn't really do well, but with the offense that they were running, which was predicated on a triple option of sorts with the run game and the quarterback being an option in the run, you were also seeing how they struggled against teams like Syracuse and Texas A&M, which didn't turn out to be bad teams and actually turned out to give folks problems. But when Trevor Lawrence was in the game, you saw the passing threat was real. And it wasn't so much about who he was passing to, although it feels like Hunter Renfrow has been in college for like 15 years. It was much more about how he was able to get the ball to them. I would say that Trevor Lawrence in his offense are a lot like what the Saints do in 2018 as well, where it doesn't really matter who the wide receivers are because the quarterback is so good at dropping dimes, and the 2 guys playing running back are also all pro caliber guys. At New Orleans, it's Drew Brees, it's Mark Ingram, and it's Alvin Kamara. At Clemson, it's Trevor Lawrence, it's Adam Choice, and it's Travis Etienne. And Travis Etienne is one of those dudes at running back. You've heard me talk a lot about how Oklahoma running back Kennedy Brooks was averaging 9.6 yards per carry going into the Big 12 championship game. Travis Etienne's averaging 8.0 yards per carry and over 1,300 yards on the ground. The way that guy sees the field and hits holes, he's just awesome, but he also can outrun you. And again, they have a run threat and Trevor Lawrence if they want to, and I know that because I saw Travis Etienne break out against Pitt, run it all the way to the house. But I also saw Trevor Lawrence getting down there to make a block, which means that guy has wheels. So if they want to run some zone read, they can to throw people off balance. And they're going to need to do that with the Notre Dame defense. In particular, Jerry Tillery is a dude up front. That guy playing defensive tackle in Notre Dame, he be real good. But I don't think that this Notre Dame defense has faced the kind of offense they're going to see in Clemson. But even if they were, that offense is going to have a hard time moving the ball because Brent Venables has built a monster on defense. They have a bunch of dudes they can rotate in playing defensive line who are going to play in the NFL. One of them is Clelin Ferrell. Clelin Ferrell is a top 10 pick playing on defensive line at Clemson. Ferrell has 16 tackles for loss and 10.5 sacks. He's getting to the quarterback. Another guy is Christian Wilkins. He's got 12 tackles for loss and 4.5 sacks. Another guy is Austin Bryant. He's got 11 tackles for loss and 6.5 sacks. They're good. They're real good. And they got enormous guys playing in defensive back, but they're weak at safety. So I expect to see Clemson put Ian Book and Notre Dame into lots of 2nd and 8 and 3rd and 9 situations where Ian Book is going to have to prove that that percentage that he has passing actually is accurate as to say he's a great quarterback. And I think that's also where the edge is for Notre Dame. They have big wide receivers that Ian Book can drop dimes on, and it could be a lot like Sam Ehlinger and Colin Johnson and LJ Humphrey at Texas, where you're just trying to get one-on-one matchups and go at those safeties, which is the weak spot for Clemson. And while Miles Boykin and Chase Claypool have combined for over 100 catches and 1,400 yards, you cannot ignore the production you're getting at running back from Dexter Williams, who since he's come back from his suspension has accumulated 941 yards rushing in 8 games, 6.6 yards per carry. I just don't know that the Notre Dame offensive line is going to be able to push around that Clemson defensive line, which is the best in football. Also, don't know that Notre Dame has really been tested because their strength of schedule is about as soft as UCF's. Yes, they played some ranked opponents, and yes, they played a mostly ACC schedule, but they did not have to prove it with that 13th data point, which means that they don't play for conference championships because they don't have to. And I got a problem with that because they don't have to share the way the rest of college football Power 5 conferences have to share, but they are undefeated, and they are in this game. And perhaps we'll see Clemson boat race Notre Dame. But if we don't, it'll be because Dexter Williams is able to open up the running game and Ian Book can get one-on-one matchups to his big, tall wide receivers. But I think that Clemson is going to win this game by 10 points. I'm going to go 34-24. Clemson gets into the national championship and will face the winner of Oklahoma, Alabama, which you could preview here. All right, that's it for me. Deuces.